here in Frankstown Township above 22, and this is the mountain behind the beaver dams at Canoe Creek, and I'm on the old Turnpike Road off of 22. Believe it or not, this used to be a road. It's still used today, but I wanted to show you guys this incline plane here. If you look down in there and see that cut, that's an old incline where they would pull Gannister rock off this mountain. At the very top of this mountain is a Gannister quarry, and basically back in the early 1900s they mined and quarried Gannister rock, and they would make silica bricks for the inside of blast furnaces for the steel industry. So really neat part of history here. This would have been the Sylvan incline for the Hartman quarry up on top of the mountain here. So, but they would have had a dinky track system that would be pulled up and down this incline, hauling Gannister rock down the bottom of the mountain. Very awesome history, and something that shouldn't be forgotten about right here in Blair County. Look at this nice cleared trail up here. It's actually not a trail, it's an incline. This would have been the Hartman incline behind the beaver dams at Canoe Creek. What I'm doing is I'm going up the mountain and I'm going to explore a Gannister quarry. And Gannister rock is this right here. You see the sparkles in it? It's kind of a sandstone quartz rock that's native to our region, and this rock was made, had a lot of silica in it, and the silica in this rock, they would make silica brick for the blast furnaces. So this silica brick could withstand extreme, very hot temperatures for the inside of these blast furnaces when they were making their steel. So back in the very 1890s up until about the 1930s, 40s, even in the 50s, they were mining and quarrying Gannister rock. What people don't realize in Hollidaysburg is that they had a few of these industrial sites. I'm going to go up here to the top and we'll take a look around. These old incline planes are very steep. They pulled dinky cars up and down the mountain to load Gannister rock. And I'm not sure if the workers had to walk up these every day, but I'm pretty well winded. Okay, so we're at the top of we're halfway up the Hartman incline above the beaver dams in Canoe Creek. And you can see this flat spot and how the hill was kind of mined off. And you'll see piles of Gannister rock. Basically, they would just pick up the rock and excavate and just take the rock right off the mountain, and they would carry the rock and put it in the dinky cars, and it would go down and get loaded on the rail cars and probably go to a silica brick factory or went straight to Pittsburgh. There's a few of these silica or Gannister quarries in Blair County, Huntington County, Bedford County. It's just neat to kind of see what's going on up here. Here's some ruins up here, and I think this is probably, they would have had a pulley system for the dinky tracks up here. And you come over here and you'll see the incline the whole way down there. So this would have been the first area of the incline. So we'll go up there next. We're on Canoe Mountain. This is an old Gannister quarry, and just recently there was a fire up here, big brush fire, but you can see where the controlled burn was. They actually used this old rail line from the Gannister quarries, you know, and you can tell they kind of started the controlled burn along this rail bed, and the whole mountain's kind of charred. But they did a very good job here with the controlled burn, it looks like, and it actually probably helped clean up some underbrush and everything. So but this is an old Gannister quarry, and a lot of industrial history right here too. So we're gonna go up the mountain and see what's up top. We're gonna follow the old rail bed. They had locomotives on these mountains, and they would pick this Gannister rock up for industrial purposes. Pretty cool. It's Saturday here, and we are around Point View, around the Gannister area. And between all these mountains here, we got Canoe Mountain over here, which is actually on fire up there. Hopefully they get it put out here. And we are around Short Mountain and Spruce Point. But this whole area was a Gannister quarry back in the early 1900s. You can see all this Gannister rock, and men would come up here and they would have railroads along these trails here. This is a former incline, and they would run dinky cars down. They would load up Gannister rock and take it down to the railroad, and it was a big industry back in those early 1900s. You can just follow the rail bed here, and it comes down into here, and you can see all the Gannister rock. The men would just pick it up and load their dinky cars. A lot of awesome history in these woods. Down here in Williamsburg and Gannister, and look at those big ledges of limestone. And this area is known to be as Gannister, and it used to be the village of Franklin Forge. There used to be a forge here that the Royers had made their iron products at the forge, and around 1900 the railroad came here and built the Gannister station. And they named this area, they called this area Gannister, is because of all the Gannister rock they were taking off the mountains around this area. They were taking off so much Gannister rock that they decided to name this area Gannister. And the contracts that the railroad had with Jessie Hartman and the Gannister quarries was why the railroad came here. And around 1900, the Pittsburgh Limestone Company leased this, or bought this property here to start major limestone quarry. And along this whole ridge down Piney Creek is this massive area of limestone that has been quarried. And this limestone wasn't used for roads or blacktop or concrete. This was all for the steel industry, and they would use this limestone as flux, and the flux would be the limestone. It would pull the impurities out during the steel making process. And people need to understand that Williamsburg had 8 large quarry sites such as this, that they quarried millions of tons of limestone, and it fed the steel industry for 40-50 years. And there's thousands of quarrymen here in Williamsburg that were providing the steel industry with the limestone they needed. So this is some incredible history in Williamsburg that a lot of people have forgotten about today. This is just one site of about 8 limestone quarries that were for the flux industry and the Pittsburgh market. Jessie Hartman also had another Gannister quarry in McKee Gap and the Brooks Mills area right off of Reservoir Road. And this is this mountain here on Dunning's Mountain. Here's a nice shot of Dunning's Mountain. You can actually see the Gannister rock on it. Here's one of the original inclines that came down to Brooks Mills. This is at a current hunting club, and it's on private property. And here's a picture of that original incline that came down onto Brooks Mills. The incline would come down and get loaded onto this railroad where the Gannister rock would go out to different silica brick plants. There's also a nice lime kiln along that rail bed, and we believe the tip will probably sat close to it because there's a large embankment here, so that's kind of where we're speculating the tip was. But it comes basically a straight down from the incline. Okay, this is the McKee Gap side of the Hartman quarries, and this would run along Dunning's Mountain towards McKee, and you can see the narrow gauge rail lines that the dinkies would run along this mountain. And you can see the Gannister quarry there. This Gannister rock would be all along this mountain. Here's some clearings and excavations. And this is a really neat find. This is the second incline that ran at the edge of the mountain there. This would be the McKee Gap incline, which they closed the Brooks Mills incline and rebuilt it here on McKee Gap. And it went straight down the mountain closer to the railroad where there was already a nice loading trestle. So that was a really nice find. You can see the area cleared out with stones going the whole way down the mountain. And this is where the incline would come down, right off this mountain into McKee. And here's an outline that I outlined it here for a visual. Thank you for watching the video here on the Gannister industry. This is a new book that we're working on. It's called Blair County Limestone and Gannister. Should be done here in about a month or two. We're looking forward to releasing it. Has the McClanahans that they really bridged the gap from Pittsburgh to Williamsburg for the limestone industry, as well as workers for the Gannister rock industry here, featured in Claysburg and Sproul, and different quarries all over Blair County for limestone flux. Also construction limestone for blacktop and concrete and roads, and early on quarries that really built up Blair County and really helped get this country moving. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Have a great day.